Enterplay. My website is enterplay.world, and this is image to audio to image. So I'm going to tell you guys and talk about my art practice, one part of my art practice. There's also some research that's involved with this as well. This whole presentation is something that's like really close to me, and I'll go into why that is shortly. But I'm really stoked to show y'all the essence of this presentation is to show you guys it's really cool. It's just fucking cool to take an image, like you have a two-dimensional image, you have pixels, you know, and you convert that image into audio, and then you convert that audio back into an image to create this feedback loop. The ethos of like my work is everything's a loop, like everything is circular. I think like my whole like relationship with reality and like my purpose on Earth and like my relationship with the universe is like I think everything is circular, everything is connected, and everything is like a circle. And I love feedback loops, and you know I struggle a lot with feedback loops in the brain, like thought loops. And this is like the best expression of my relationship with everything I just said to y'all. So let me just go ahead and go into my website. Y'all can check out my work at enterplay.world. I am going to show y'all first my thesis, Resonance Self. This was, I went to NYU ITP. This was about 2 years ago, 2023. I graduated in 2023. When I was in ITP, my first semester at ITP, I was diagnosed with complex PTSD and PROCD, and my life was ruined. I like thought I had to like drop out of school and like put myself in a inpatient program because the amount of trauma and anxiety and OCD tendencies I was experiencing was so powerful and so overwhelming that I was losing my mind. And it sucks because I moved to New York to pursue a career to become a professor. I wanted to move here to teach creative coding, and it was fucked. I really thought I was going to die. I really thought I was going to die. It was the most overwhelming and difficult experience I've ever faced in my life, and it sucks because PTSD is reliving the shit that you already went through, you know, and that destroyed me. And I was like, all right, fuck it. I'm going to stay in school. I'm going to make something that's profound. And what is it? And I created a Resonance Self. I created an installation that just proved to me that I'm okay. That at the end of the day, I still have myself. With trauma, one of the most common things to do is to fight it. When you feel these feelings, all you want to do is think your way out of it. That's why I have OCD. I love to think. I want to process. I want the truth behind things, and I couldn't do that. I could not do that with my trauma. So instead, I was like, "Fuck this! I'm gonna make art instead." And the one thing, like, I had a lot of trouble sleeping at night, so I started to listen to ASMR, and ASMR is really powerful for trauma. And then I was taking this class at ITP, and I discovered vector art. I discovered converting images into audio and displaying them on the oscilloscope. Like, that's fucking sick. And then I got into like Blender, Aussie Studio. I got into oscilloscope art, and then I was like, wait, I want to do this real time. And I wanted to make an interactive installation that would convert me into audio and then convert me back into an image. And the reason why I created this installation was to prove to myself and to others that we exist in domains beyond just our physical self. When you have trauma and you are so, like, when your body's in fight or flight, you literally you go to another dimension. And when you're in that dimension 24/7, it's so jarring because you're cognizant of reality, but you cannot communicate to others that, like, I'm here and you're here. So I created Resonance Self to prove to myself and others that this is like one big sound bath of like, I am here, I may be up here, but also there is dimensionality beyond just my skin and bones. I will stop talking and I'll show you Resonance Self. Yeah. So that is Resident Self. That was my thesis, and it was just this immersive. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks. It was an interactive immersive installation that embodies what I do now, of like just like recording audio and then displaying that audio in different mediums. This installation was 3 lasers here that you can see. I have one of the lasers here in front of us now. There are 5 oscilloscopes, and the oscilloscopes are waveform analyzers. So you just feed them left and right audio channels, and they will display the waveform, the left and right. You know, it's like an Etch-a-Sketch, right? So it's a single beam of light, and it's constantly drawing itself over time. That's how the oscilloscope works, and that's how the laser works. So in TouchDesigner, which is like, okay, sorry, it got really deep and dark, but now we're gonna like make some sick shit. In TouchDesigner, you can, it's really simple. Here is an example of this is a torus, right? So this is a torus, and how I convert, images into audio, or spheres or surface operators into audio is you have a laser chop, right? And so the laser chop looks for either a SOP or a chop. So I can input either a SOP or a chop, right? So it's super simple. Like in this case here, what you're seeing on the laser, what you're seeing on the oscilloscope, is a torus, right? I'm throwing some noise on it, and then I'm sending it to my laser, and I can set a vertex hold. So the vertex hold is essentially like the sample rate of it, right? So if I bring it up, and we get some really interesting noise, and I can bring it down. And so what's fascinating is like you have this like plethora, this endless like sandbox of audio-visual feedback loops, and every parameter that you change creates something so different. Per usual, this is TouchDesigner, right? This is what we always do. But it's very fascinating to hear how audio is informing this vector in front of us, and the vector also, because I'm controlling, at the end of the day, what I'm controlling is this torus. I'm manipulating the vertices of this torus, and that can, in turn, change the sound and also change the vector graphic, and it can also manipulate the audio as well. So you can see here that I have a torus, right? There's some noise, there's a null. I'm setting it to this laser. In this laser, I have an audio filter. So check this out. This is a low-pass filter. And that's it. You go from chaos to a single beam of light. And I think like that's fucking juicy. Like, look, like that's great. Like, it's so, and in my exhibition, in my thesis, it was, you come in and you're like, holy fuck, like what's going on? Like, I am so much noise and I am the noise. And then you simply, like, the more time you spend there, the low pass filter, right? Look at this. I'm showing you what I do. It's literally just bringing this goddamn number down. And it's silent. And that little shift is so profound and evocative. And that's what I let dictate the work that I create, It's going from something super chaotic and erratic into something grounding. Silence. One beam. That's just me right there. That's still me. That is me. And I can bring it back up and you see your image again. So this here is an example of just a basic raw converting an image into audio. So again, you have a laser chop. The laser chop is what's dope as fuck. You can take this SOP. I can also have a 2D image, right? So I have a displace top here. There is an operator, a surface operator called trace. So it takes any 2D top, converts it into a 3D surface operator, and with that, then you can reference that in your laser. So then I could switch, and there's my noise. But the noise, what you're hearing right now, that's what noise sounds like, which is so fascinating. It's so cool. And then if I change the parameters of my noise, so you can see here, if I bring down the period, let's see what happens. So you get these different soundscapes from manipulating the parameters. So what's cool is, this is a new paradigm, right? The ethos of TouchDesigner is you have inputs, you have interaction, like you have points of input, points of interaction, and you can use that to drive the infinite parameters that you have, right? So imagine being able to construct this soundscape using whatever input you want, and for me, I usually use webcam-based interactions. Yeah, so this is just a basic example. In order to send it out to this laser, right? So I have here my traced image. There is my laser. You can see that the green scale is at 1. If I brought the green down and I brought the red up, now it's red, right? But then I'm gonna bring it back to green. Dope. To get it on the oscilloscope there, it's simply just a speaker out. So I have this box here. It's called a Shit Modi 3E, and it's a DAC, a digital to analog converter. And what's crazy is this DAC, what it's sending to this oscilloscope. This oscilloscope is from like the 80s. It's sending a right and left audio channel. So this box that's in front of you right now, it's displaying whatever image. Is it displaying an image? Do you see something? Okay, word. It's not. There's no video input. There's nothing driving it. It's just listening to audio. It's just listening to samples on the left and right audio samples. That's what's crazy, is that you're able to build these profound graphics in such archaic hardware. That's fucking dope, right? Okay, so anyways, moving forward, that's again shameless plug. Okay, so this is this is another example of like post-processing, right? So I don't always have an oscilloscope, and I don't always have a laser, and I live on the internet, and I love Instagram, and so like I also like, you know, post-processing. I like to mess with GLSL. I like to mess with tops in TouchDesigner and see how I can construct or apply like real-time filters on graphics. And so this is the same patch that we were just looking at, but I'm just showing you guys like the post-processing process of this, right? So how I render this in TouchDesigner is there is a component, in your palette called an XY scope, okay? So if you go into techniques here and you find the last item in this list of techniques is XY scope, I can just drag it into my network, right? And this XY scope takes a chop channel operator, okay? But that's good because our laser is a chop, right? And we're feeding the laser a chop or a surface operator. And then once you convert a surface operator or a texture operator into a channel, into this real-time stream of data, you can then take that band of data and visualize it in the XY scope palette component. And then with that, it spits out a null. It spits out a null top, which you can see here in this transform. And I'm just doing a transform to get the background color on it. And then I take the blur, and then I just have a lookup table, and that's it. And you get like a really cool, like spiny looking fucking weird graphic. I wish you could see the fidelity of it more on the projector, but what's cool is to get this spine. You know, what I'm doing is I'm just taking, look, it's this image, right? It's this null one, this noise, but you get a spine by messing with the audio filter. So I have a low pass filter here. Check this out. So this is my low pass filter, right? You can see the parameters here. I can bring it up. The spine goes away. And then I can bring it down and find like the sweet spot and get some gnarly spikes. But then I can bring it down even more. And then it just becomes the single beam again. Cool. So that is post-processing. The last one for good time is Media pipe. So that's me. Let's see. And so I'm taking my image from my webcam, I'm listening to how I sound in like this like digiscape. And then I can how empowering is that? It's crazy, you know? And at the end of the day, what's, you know, like I just like, it's beautiful because all of this is so wacky, it's so wild and kind of peculiar, but like this is not a lot of nodes. And there's extra nodes here just for the sake of this, you know, presentation. It's so simple. You have an image. Oh, is it? Oh no, I paused it, yeah. You have an image, you trace the image, you send it to a laser, and then you just send it out. And I can visualize it with an XLI scope, and I can also send it out with a laser device here. And this is using media pipe. So what's going on here is my process is I have this base component MP, right? There is me. I just subtracted out the background, right? And how to do that, I'm just in media pipe. I'm using the image segmentation. I have an out operator sending it out of this folder here. I'm pulling out me with a subtracted background, and I'm tracing that image. So I'm taking my image and converting myself into, you know, an XYZ, you know, 3D world space, taking that, and I'm converting it through the laser chop. And what the laser chop does, like technically speaking, is, look, this is a 3D object, okay? This is a three-dimensional object. When you're dealing with 3D, you have X, Y, and Z points. When we're dealing with lasers, we're only worrying about the X and Y. So here you can see that there is no Z. We have no depth. So each point in this 3D object, right? This is like maybe, what is this? Like -3, -3 maybe? -3, -3 can be translated into a left and right audio channel. The X is the left, the Y is the right. And that's what the laser does under the hood for us, which is beautiful because TouchDesigner makes really complicated things really easy. Yeah, this is the shit that I love to do. If you're interested in this, I would check out what is it? How I discovered all of this was it was actually XY Scope, which is a processing library. And I discovered this library when I was a second year at ITP, and I was like, all right, cool, I can use a Connect and like make this real time. But he changed the license, so you cannot actually alter the code. And I was like, I wanted to change some things. I'm like, I feel like I can recreate this, so I tried to do open frameworks, and that was fucked. And I'm not really good at music, you know, so like I don't really know what I'm doing. And then like in TouchDesigner, there's a thing that's built for us, an XY scope. Who would have thought? And so that's like the beauty of TouchDesigner is like you can make really peculiar, obscure shit. And yeah, thank you guys. Thanks.
That boy, please.
Okay, do you hear me, guys? Yeah, so thank you very much for hosting. My name is Gabor Such, and I'm coming from Slovakia, which is, if anybody knows, it's if you know Hungary, there's north is Slovakia. Okay. So the thing is, I'm gonna present to you tonight so I was the founder of the Serum Light Festival. It's happening in a small town in Šamorín, close to Bratislava, which is the capital of Slovakia, and it's my hometown. That's why I'm organizing right there, not elsewhere in the capital or whatever. So first of all, I would love to share my background because it all makes sense when I'm explaining and why I'm doing this and why this is that I'm talking about. So I was studying painting at the university in Bratislava, and at high school I was studying computer and hand-drawn animation. So since that, I'm still trying to combine these two practices in my workflow, and and throughout the years I went through I'm still painting, of course. I went through different projection mapping projects. I did a lots of guerrilla mappings. If you could imagine what that means, it's we used to go out with some of my friends to abandoned places, and we did projections on these abandoned buildings or sculptures from the Soviet era, which are still several you can find in, for example, in Croatia, Serbia, Slovakia, Austria, wherever. These are just a couple of examples. So this was so after I graduated, I still was working with the animation, and it's my passion. The thing I wanted to say, it's the serum is, yeah, the serum is we'll get there. The serum is the passion. So the thing is, all these things went through large-scale projection mapping projects that I'm working on right now. So this was, for example, the Hungarian parliament. I did this project for 3 years now, and I'm done with that. It's the biggest celebration of Hungary. It's the 20th of August every year. They have huge amount of fireworks, and the last 4 years there is a huge mapping in of course of the parliament building and two more other sites. Okay, so but now the serum is it comes from my passion to light art. So let me tell just a short story what the serum is. So one of my best friends from Hungary is a light artist as well, and we met for the first time, I think, in 2016 in Moscow, and then we met in the Amsterdam Light Festival, and then we met at the Prague Light Festival at the Signal. And then I had the idea that why I'm still meeting these guys, it is because of the light. The light what brings us together. So the serum is basically it's not, we are not really let's say a commercial or a profit-oriented light festival. It's really about the people who bring together these visual, interactive visual things, or coming to exhibit to this place, but it's the source, the light. So yeah, we can go through the history. It's been organized for the first time in 2021. It was just for one night. We had a projection on a very nice building, and later on in 2021-23 we moved to a different venue when we had large-scale projection mapping, and we also hosted new media art related exhibition of I think around 8 artists from Hungary and Switzerland and Germany, Ukraine, etc. So the purpose of the serum is promoting new media art, of course, through exhibitions, as I said, and public light paintings, light installations, and audiovisual performances. Yeah, the main idea was, this was the first year, it was the synagogue. We did the mapping. This, could you imagine, in a small town where nothing really happens ever, we did this we did this mapping. So yeah, it was really like the people went crazy when they saw this for the first time. So later on, these are the pictures from the second year. This is the municipal of Chamorin, the city where I come from, and honestly, I was surprised. We had a quite big audience. I wasn't expecting, so yeah, I think it was successful. But we are not only like really focusing on light art. So we, as I said, we had this new media exhibitions where we also exhibited paintings, photography, for example, prints or 3D prints, even VR related artworks, and I used to teach for 7 years now, and it's also a very specific part of the serum every year that we are hosting an interesting lecture of about related to new media art or projection mapping or light art. And of course, since it's also my background, the teaching, I love kids, so we hosted workshops for kids, and I'll show you pictures about. I think it was quite successful. Yeah, this is, I think this was 2023. This was the third serum. So this is in front of the Municipal of Culture. And yeah, honestly, when I saw this audience, I was going crazy. Wow. So in a small town, there is this interest about light art and projection mapping. It was, this is really the serum about. It's a passion. So I'm so happy when I see this amount of people that they are enjoying this too, not only me. So 2024, we moved to a different venue. We also were having a workshop for kids, and of course it was an immersive projection mapping with 3 screens. And yeah, the thing is, if you are interested to participate, we don't have, as I said, it's not profit oriented, so we don't have any open calls. We don't, it's really on a friendship. It's about the individuals who are bringing their vision, their art, light related art, or any kind of interactive or whatever, to the place, to the serum. So each serum is a different one, and we are about to organize the 5th one this autumn. So it's gonna happen. I'm so sorry, I still don't have the exact days. It's gonna be either the last weekend of September or the 2nd weekend of October. I'll have a meeting with the guys from the town hall of Chamorin, and we will decide in May. So after that, if anybody is interested to participate, you can contact me, or I can give you my card, whatever. You can find the Instagram site, and we can be in contact. So please, if you have some good ideas to share, please do it. And thanks very much for your attention. So I would like to show you the 3rd serum in a video. 120 kids showed up on one day. We were not prepared to do this. And of course, live audiovisual performances. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Any questions from the audience?
Yes. No, so the thing is we collect from different artists. We all convert to the XV3 and we play it with Resolume. We do the mapping. We always have like a media server, of course, and there is a technician guy who is playing the animations. So we create, first of all, we create before the event the 3D object of the building, of the actual building. So, and after that we send to, I used to send to my friends, and they create animations, and then, so it's not, I think the thing you want to ask is if it's real time. It's not real time. We play as the, we play it as like from Resolume Arena. Yes? So you mean about the next surface? Yeah. So I think around May everything will be done. Everything will be ready. So if you want, I can send you. As I said, we don't have open calls. It's based on friendship. So if you're interested, let me know, and I'll send you the things. Yeah, I know. It's so mostly as I've seen or I've experienced through different light art festivals in Europe. There are open calls. They have a budget, or they do this. They are able to do this, but this is really this is a personal thing, you know. This is we are doing. We are not making money with this. We do this with my friends because, as I said, it's the light. So what you see, the logo itself, I don't know if it's readable, but I wanted to capture the light in a bulb, in a potion. This is what connects us. So, for example, if you want to participate in the serum, the light is what connects us. This is just the short thing. Yes? Anybody else? Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate.
Hello everyone, my name is Shoza Braza and I am based in Boston, but I travel to New York every week for a fellowship with WIX. I am a creative technologist, a designer and an educator, and I teach at Boston University and Mass Art. I recently, I graduated last year with an MFA, and I've been in this creative tech space for about 3 or 4 years now. I used to be a traditional artist. I used to draw, paint, and I think at this point in time, I kind of have a visual language with my illustration work, and it involves a lot of organic and synthetic stuff. Wires, panels, blood, cuts, bones, sometimes gory, sometimes it looks nice. So let's talk about my background first, because why the fuck am I doing it? So I am actually from Pakistan, from a very small town, Sialkot. And in that town, my dad basically owns a stainless steel factory. And in that town, it's an industrial town, so you either own a factory or you work at one. So these are the two main jobs in that small town. I didn't want to do either of those. I wanted to be an artist. And it was kind of hard to convince my dad to let me do what I wanted to do. So that's one aspect. But one thing that I really took away from my dad's factory was that I developed this interest with machines, because there were these blacksmiths and they were forging steel, and I really loved the intricacy of how machines are designed and how they work, gears and all. On the other hand, I am a Muslim, and I am from the Shia sect in the Muslim religion, and we, in my sect, we have this practice of self-flagellation. I will not give you a history lesson on this, but basically there is a ritualistic practice that we do where we hit ourselves and shed our blood. I was very uncomfortable with that, so I never did it. But kids my age were made to do it. My dad was nice, so he let me be an artist and let me do what I wanted to do. So I kind of convinced him to send me to art school, which I did, and I went to Lahore, which is a bigger city in Pakistan. And that's where I started developing my art practice, and I got into drawing, painting, illustration, sculpture. So I basically tried to do everything that I could because it just made me feel happy. So now I make these illustrations, and these illustrations do have that it kind of reflects my background and my interest in machines and then in humans. In the previous slide, you saw that I talk about that self-flagellation practice, and it was all bloody and gory. There was blood all over the place, and I was very young, around 8 years. of age when the first time a splash of blood hit my face, and it was someone else's blood, and that creeped me out. And after that, I started hating blood, and I was scared of blood. But the funny thing is that in my work and in my drawings, I kind of like to draw it. So I have this weird relationship with blood and guts and bones. So you see that in my work. And so it's like a mix and mashup of organic and synthetic stuff. This is another one. So this is just a series of illustrations that I do all the time. And eventually, when I came to Boston, I went to MassArt for a master's program. It was a design and technology program. And my interest in building machines and engineering and art kind of, that college basically supported me, and I was able to get into creative technology, and I love to do projection mapping and like using these creative coding tools and stuff. So I started building a series of interactive installations, and all these installations are a part of a series that I call low resolution beings. The basic main idea is to basically think about the evolution of machines and humans. In a way, we have this beautiful relationship with machines. They're like always right next to you. My phone is always with me, and my phone knows more about me than my parents, my girlfriend, my friends, right? And it's the same case with all of you guys. So we sometimes don't realize how intimate we are with our machines. And our relationship to our machines this was like an interesting topic to basically talk about and to investigate. So I started building these machines that maybe in the future we will have machines that kind of evolve to the point where it's kind of hard to distinguish where human ends and where machine begins. So I will just talk about 3 main projects, and they're not in chronological order because the piece that I have here is the first piece that I designed. But let's start with this piece. It's called Embrace, and it is a stainless steel cylinder, which is touch reactive. So when you touch it, it makes a sound. So this piece went through 3 different stages. The first prototype is basically a traffic drum that I stole from the street, and I cut it into this circular form. And then the second piece was just to basically make the audio sound nicer. So I used Max MSP to just generate sine waves and do this beautiful sounding stuff. Before that, it was just an Arduino, and it had like very glitchy sounds. So with this piece, as you can see, there's sand on the floor. So that was a last moment thing, like a week before the install, because the sensor thing didn't really work if you were standing on the floor because you were grounded. So I wanted to I wanted to have something under you. So I was like, oh, why not just put some orange sand under? So I put some sand, and it worked. This is just an image of my friends hanging out in the embrace of a machine. The second project is Membrane. This is my most recent project and the one that I'm most proud of. This is how it works. So basically, I developed this project when I was a student at MIT, and this is basically the first prototype that I'm working on. It just got it has a Connect sensor behind it that detects the depth map, and then just the depth map is just multiplied to any visual, image, video, and you can just see the part that I basically probe into that fabric, and then I can only see that, and the projector only sends the light on that part. This is just a video from the first prototype when I was like working on it. Yeah, and these are some beautiful images that my friend took from one of the shows that this piece was in. And today I have this piece here. It's called Namyati machine. Namyati is an Urdu word which means organic matter. So the idea behind this machine was like to up in the air, and I was thinking about maybe having a device in the future that will allow us humans to craft organic beings, because we design machines in a different way today, but maybe eventually in the future we can grow machines instead of building machines. So this little device, this is just a demo video. So this piece has 4 different stages. The idea is to basically transform a normal human being into a transhuman. So there's 4 stages. The first stage is initiation. The first stage is human. The second stage is initiation. The third stage is the womb. And the 4th stage is transhuman. So I'm going to install that piece after, and you can just experiment and play around with it, and I can give further details on that, how I built it. So these are some sketches before I made the piece, and this is what it actually looks like. It's a device. It's got some distance sensors in it, and it's got a numpad keyboard that I ordered from Amazon. And I just covered it with this wooden block so no one sees what's under it. And it looks like a very technically advanced piece, which it is completely not. It's just a very simple thing. And I used Max MSP to do the sound, and I just sent basically the numbers from the sensor. They go to Max MSP, and then I just send it to TouchDesigner. So I'm basically running 2 programs at the same time. Max, because I wanted this piece to have sound, and it does have sound, but it doesn't have sound today. So I'm just using a TouchDesigner patch for that. And this is just an image from some shows that this piece has been in. Thank you.
Questions from the audience?
Yes, and I actually got it from New York. I was in Boston, and I didn't find any vendor in Boston, so I had to come to New York to get it. It's called Canal Rubber. But it is latex, yes. Sorry? The what? Sorry? The vendor? Oh, definitely, yes. It's called Canal Rubber. Yes. They're kind of very popular with artists. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I wanted to make money. So, because being in traditional art, I was really good at doing live drawing and all of that stuff. But then I got an iPad and I started making illustrations, and because one of my friend owned a mural business, so I started designing murals and then started painting murals with him. That's when I just started getting into the digital world, and I loved it, so I just kept doing it. Oh, yeah. So for Coca-Cola, I did an interactive installation. I can just show you. It's all on my website. So for Coca-Cola, I did this piece. So this was an interactive installation in one of their headquarters.
We can see it.
Oh my God, sorry. I have to mirror my screen. Okay, cool. Yeah, so this is what I did for Coca-Cola. And then for other brands, I did murals, installations, And for some brands, I was a visual designer, graphic designer. I don't remember if I have anything else. Yeah, this was another mural that I did for another company. So yeah, that's what I do on the side. Yes, please. Sure. The Coca-Cola thing? This? No, this is not. No, this is not it. No, it's just static. Yeah, I wish it was interactive. But this is basically nails in a big wood panel. And then we ordered this thread. Coca-Cola wanted the exact Coke red color, so we had to order it from London. So they paid us well, so like, why not? The membrane project? Yes, it was a Connect, and I hate that I have a MacBook and it becomes a problem. So I had to borrow an old MacBook from one of my teachers to do that.
Can you tell us a little bit about the residency that you're doing right now?
Oh, yeah. I am a web designer too. So do you guys know Wix, the website platform? Yes. So they have this residency, and they get like 10 designers every year, I guess. And we basically push the boundaries of experimental web design. That's basically the idea. So I'm in New York for 3 days every week. And it's a lot of traveling, but I'm enjoying it a lot. So come to Wix on a Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and I can show you around. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Thank you, guys.
So next up, we're going to do a little bit of a break before the AD performance, but Lyell and I actually have a special announcement. We've been cooking on something.
Yeah. So these meetups have been super fun. Thank you guys for coming out. But we've been scheming a little bit with Chemistry Creative and also Derivative. And next month we're going to have the meetup, but we're also going to be kind of expanding it into a little 2-day festival, which we're going to have some workshops. Thursday night, it's I think April 17th, April 18th. Thursday night is going to be here. Normal DATLAB chill meetup, kind of like the opening night, and then Friday night we have both 301 and 305. It is a Friday, but we're going to start in the morning and go all day into the night, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
We were trying to think of names for it, so we were
yeah.
thinking, does anyone actually know what DATLAB stands for?
True.
We were trying to find something like
It's
cheeky, but
data tables.
for sure.
No.
No.
Digital.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's digital art and technology, but we were thinking, what is the festival version going to be? So official name for the meetup. I have it set up, but
I didn't. I made a patch to put it up, but then I'm not over there. I can't.
but yeah, official name DATFest.
Yeah. So yeah, DATFest, April 17th and April 18th next month. More details coming soon. Probably by the end of the week, and we're gonna get some merch, T-shirt. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. And yeah, there is secretly a lot more beer still. It looked like we were going low, but there were multiple cases that were in the back that I forgot about. So we're going to take a quick break. We might clear some chairs, and then we have an AV set at the end. And it's going to be great. Yeah, thank you.
Cool, yeah, that's great. Cool, thanks everyone for sticking around. I'm Elliot, Varsity Star. I'm doing music and visuals. I think we're gonna do like 5-10 minutes, kind of talk about like what's the setup, what's the gear, how's it hooked up, what's going on, and then we'll like take a quick break, change the track, and we'll do like a hoedown and like, you know, do the set. And there'll be a photo somewhere as well. So yeah, I guess like just to frame it, you know, I'm a musician. I grew up playing music. I mostly grew up playing instrumental music, and I got into electronic music later on. I found that a lot of times when I saw it live, it was just like super boring. And a lot of it, I think, had to do with like two things. Like one is that like if it's not interactive enough, like then it kind of just like I feel like no one knows what we're doing here. And also, I think something I missed like from the music I grew up playing, like especially with people, is like some kind of visual thing going on. So for me, kind of all of this, I'm still just kind of trying to like solve that problem because I love the music. So maybe like just for like a minute, I picked like a super simple visual just to kind of show you like how it works. I'll bring up like a little bit of the TouchDesigner patch on the screen if I can like use the mouse backwards and yeah. But so yeah, super simple visual. You can see like that the drums are doing stuff like shaking the screen, like rotating this, and it's not like just from a track because like, you know, I can play it live. If I turn it off, I just do this. So you'll see that. But I've also got synths that I'm playing and stuff like that. So we've got 3 analog synths here. A lot of the knobs on here, they don't key back into the computer. With this guy, the Electron, they do. So if you know, you can like hook up those Ableton parameters and things like that. So really basic setup of just like knobs, notes. I mostly don't really use the audio analysis side of things. I think that the data is super noisy. It can be like really hard to piece out. So the way I'm doing it more is I'll have MIDI triggers per track. So again, that's like how these are working, like with the drums, but also like, it's good we did this beforehand. So that's like an analog synth, but I'm playing it through MIDI so I can intercept all those notes and that kind of thing and like be able to animate those parts of things. Someone's asked me about this before too. Like I try to do as much of it to be things that are reactive to what I'm going to be, you know, doing with my actual hands, especially like that kind of thing. But also like there's definitely, you know, different parts of the song that I want to be able to highlight. So, you know, if I want to take it to the bridge for a second, you know, like color changes and stuff like that. This is super cool in a room where it actually like makes a difference in the lighting. And like adding the filter in there, so like controlling that side of things. And then also, yeah, like some of the effects as well, like using like TD Ableton parameters and stuff like that. So, you know, like with this, like if I turn up the reverb, like breaking it apart and things like that. So that's what it looks like. I'm gonna turn like the lights back on. So I guess maybe I'll take like 5 minutes, kind of like show you all the boxes in TouchDesigner for people who are interested. I guess that gets the most applause out of anything, not the music, but the. I guess also just, I don't want to like split the room, but like by show of hands, like if you have to pick one, I know we multidisciplinary scene here, but like raise your hand if you're like a music person and yeah. Okay, cool. And then who's more of like sort of a touch designer, like visual? Okay, that's the majority. I get the applause. I guess where it's coming from. All right, let me F1 this. It feels weird with like no music now. I feel like it's like so. Okay, let me just find my mouse and then I'll show you. All right, yeah. So this is basically like what one song would look like for me. I was really impressed with like I don't know if they're still here, but like that like crazy laser thing from before. There's like a couple of boxes, and then I've got like 4 cubes, and like this is what it takes to do it. So definitely like that was super impressive. So basically like a big part of this for me, like I have one Ableton kind of patch per song, and I do one Ableton set per song. I keep it all in this one big like master set. But a big thing is like with any software really, right, is like how do you make it kind of repeatable and like not have to do a lot of manual grind. So you can see up in the right there, like I've got all these MIDI TD Ableton MIDI instances, and then I made this kind of like MIDI handler extension that basically keeps track of all of them. So whenever you create one, it automatically creates like a TSV file that has all of your note mappings for a given trigger. So I'll bring over VS Code just to make this make some sense. How's that? So this is basically like all of the actual callbacks are dead simple. Like I didn't want to be in making visuals for a song and like be in Python like for like the kick drum, like figuring out what to do. So all of those callbacks are really dead simple. They basically say like, you know, when you receive a note, send it to this kind of central coordinator, and then you will get routed to some set of envelopes or triggers which are set up as TSV file. I'll show people after because I don't want to spend too much more time on it. Like for the triggers and the envelopes especially, like that's such a huge part of how the animations work. It's funny because I feel like sometimes I'll go to these things and I'm like, yeah, I wrote like 40 lines of Python. I spent like 2 hours actually making the envelope kind of like look natural and like have the animations look okay, which is good. I guess that means that the tool is like good. If you're spending all your time doing Python instead of that, then it's kind of a bummer. As much as I like writing it. Yeah, so then basically for every track, you can map a note to one or more envelopes, and you can also have like a wild card, so you can say like, oh, any note goes to the set of envelopes. And then beyond that, I'm using basically like standard kind of like Ableton parameters to do those like knob controls that you saw before. So yeah, if you got more questions, I think come up to me after, like, and yeah, like let's do this. I'm gonna play some music and do all that. So thanks.